What is up, everybody? Josh here again, and today we have a new Subnautica 2 video for you. Today we'll be showing you 10 things you may or may not know about Subnautica 2. And no, I'm not going to be showing you stupid stuff like, oh, get air bubbles and it gives you air, or scan everything and it will give you something. We're going to be showing you stuff that you may or may not know about the game. Let's get into it, shall we? I was way too far into the game before I realized that you could put a storage box on the back of the tadpole. Now, you may know that you have a hard point in the back of the tadpole where you can either put a tool, like so, or you could put like a storage box like this on it. That's going to give you an extra 15 slots so you could store items on the go. What you may not know is whenever you get the hull chassis, there's 2 hard points on each side, which means you can increase your storage by 30 on top of the back of the storage here. So you can have 60 things of storage on the hull chassis on the tadpole if you add 2 of these onto the hard points on each side, which is quite valuable because going around and storing 60 items in your vehicle and your inventory as well, if you have the upgraded inventory slots, is a lot of items that you can bring back at a time. Next thing I'm going to show you is that some creatures are attracted to lights and some are deterred by them. So we got a little light here, and you can see this little wax moon here. It will stare at us because we have a light. And I think the wake maker lights work as well, like so. And it does actually deter some creatures, like these little creatures right here, the shark-looking deals. We'll bring our light out here, kind of shine our light. These things right here, the marrow breach. You can deter them with lights sometimes. Now, you can't just sit there and straight up hold the light on them all the time, but sometimes you can shine a light on them and they'll go away, like that right there. Same thing for creature deterrents. If you use the creature deterrents like here, you can throw them and deter the creatures and they will not attack you. And this goes for quite a few creatures in the game. You can make them quite easily in the fabricator underneath the consumables, and you make 3 at a time for 1 titanium and 1 quartz. And speaking of distractions, say for example, if you got picked up by the collector Leviathan and you wanted to scan them, then really all you have to do is get out and throw a distraction flare. And these work quite well on him, actually. And you can go up to him and, you know, scan him. And yeah, he may try to kill you and eat you like this right here, but he's not all too bad. We're going to show you what we made. He's quite an actual helpful chap, to be honest with you. So what you could do is you go up to a flat part here near his arena or where he lives, and just place you a blueprint. You don't have to complete the blueprint. Just place it, and you can do a few of them if you want. These are all 5 titanium apiece. Whenever he goes ahead and crafts them, they're going to be 5 titanium apiece. And look, right there, we can get like 30 titanium real easy whenever he comes over and finishes it. So he'll finish structures for you. And this includes like windows and all kinds of stuff. So you're wanting to build windows in your base, and you don't want to get all the quartz for it. All you have to do is kind of aggro the collector Leviathan over to your structures here. We're just going to drag him down here towards our buildings. After he does his little snatch and grab, hurt us with like 6 HP or 4 HP. It's not bad at all. But look, he's already actually completed 3 of them. Just get him close to where you built. Go underneath this little table here. And he'll build those structures for you. You'll even hear him kind of building the structures above you. And then when he swims away, all your structures are built. And now what you can also do if you want glass, put you a few unfinished windows in here. Make them the largest you can, actually, on each side. Kind of like so. And he'll go ahead and finish that. Make sure you don't get eaten. And once he goes awake, we're just going to go up here. We're going to deconstruct mode. Construct it almost all the way. You don't have to do it all the way. If you do it almost all the way, he'll reconstruct it again. Place more windows for more glass. Make sure you go to the large versions here. We'll craft all kinds of stuff. You can break it down for materials, and he'll help you build stuff. So this is something that is very valuable. You just straight up deconstruct these, and that will give you lots and lots of titanium and glass and other materials. So he can help you build. Just bring your hauler over here with all the storage we showed you, and you should be able to load up quite well. So one thing I get a lot of questions about is how do you actually place boxes so close together and how do you release it from the grid from snapping? We're going to show you that real quickly and how to do that. This is incredibly valuable whenever you're going to go place something. For example, items that you could place on the ground. You'll notice that there is a snap. If you hit F on computer, you'll see at the very bottom of the screen there it says disable snapping. Whatever letter that is for you, you hit that and that will release it from the grid. That means you can place things really close together as long as they're not inside of each other. So if we want to put another box here and you had snapping enabled, you'll notice the box will put it a little farther away. We could disable that snapping and then just kind of butt it up right up against that one. It does take a little bit of practice to get used to how to do this, but then you can just place it right next to each other like so. And you can have them outside like that, or you can have them both facing the same way. It doesn't matter. And this goes for other structures as well. For example, for lockers, usually you'll have them snap like this, and then there'll be a little space in between them. You can also move stuff. So for example, if you hit F to move an item, and then hit F again to disable the snapping, you can move things really close to each other, like so. And now all those boxes are together. Of course, placing them, you could do the same thing as well. Disable snapping. And then you could place a bunch of them on the wall fairly close to each other. I'm just doing that real quick and easy. But you can get them all lined up. Doesn't take too long to do. You can use the movability to move them around however you want, like so. And then that's how you place things really close to each other, and that goes for benches as well. For example, this bench right here wants to kind of snap to where it is currently. We can disable snapping and kind of move it a little bit closer if we wanted to, like so. And since we're on the habitat tool, there are some things you could do as well. There are variations of things that you could place in your base. You may or may not know this. We're going to go to the window. We're going to show you the window first. There's a few different ways you can do it on windows. You can do it on arches. You can do it on your moon pool. There's a lot of different options to do. But if you go to the corners of some of these, for example, if we want to make these a little bit more angled, we can left click and change the variation like so, and kind of make the window look like that, which I think looks pretty cool, like an octagonish kind of shape. And then, of course, you could just change it back with left click as well. Sometimes you could do archways. If you got like an interior door, you could do archways that way too. I don't have any of those currently on me. The next thing I'm going to show you is like the moon pool. The moon pool, you could do it. You got to bring out the moon pool tool. So you got to have that thing selected that you built, and then you could change the variations. Kind of like so. That's going to build extra. We don't want that. But you could add a, I think it's pretty neat, like a yellow and black stripe there. So there are variations to things. So if you just kind of try to place something, sometimes you have a variation that you can modify. And here's something you may not know. There's two different scanners. There's a scanner inside your base and a scanner you hold, just the basic scanner. The scanner will help you find things like resources and also things that you need to scan. So for example, we're just going to go around and look at the HUD right above our scanner. There's like a little blue circle there you could check out. And if you kind of go around, it's going to show you where there's objects around you can scan. For example, we'll go down in this cave here, and it's going to show us that there are things that we could scan. For example, we haven't ever scanned this mimic pylon. We can scan it. And now you can see both of those popped off the screen. So if you're trying to scan everything, this will help you do so. So it will help you kind of spot things that you could scan. And this includes fish as well. So if you haven't scanned a fish before, you'll see them pop up on the scanner also. So yeah, the scanner will help you find things to scan. It does show you down below you as well if there's a cave below you, so just keep that in mind. But it won't show you resources that you have already scanned. For example, we have some copper here we scanned already. And you can see we scanned it already with that little HUD. It pops up with a green bar underneath at 100%. That's also how you can tell how much progress you have scanned for that item. But over here, we have some of this coral over here. It's showing we could scan. And it popped up on the screen. And now we can't see it on the scanner, so now it's gone. So it'll show you things that you need to scan still as little yellow dots around. And if it's a resource you haven't scanned yet, which I would suggest not scanning the resources personally, it'll show you where resources are. Of course, you got the basic base scanner as well. It's another scanner. If you choose something you want, for example, copper or something like that, all you have to do is go up here and click on these little balls, and it will pinpoint on the map where that resource is. And it'll put a little marker like that right there. And it is from the center. So for example, pretend this little round dot right here in the middle is the scanner, and it is that direction. So for example, that one's going to be about 290 meters away. This one's this direction right there. It is that direction that you're facing whenever you are standing in the middle and click on one of these little dots. And you can see it's that far away. It will pinpoint it for you. If you are over around in the Axum area and you see these little holes like this right here in your tadpole, you can actually get a really decent boost out of these. And they can get you around quite quickly. So feel free to go through those and use them as a speed boost. Some of them are lined up quite a bit, and you can get to a certain area quite quickly by going through them. Like so. But you can use those as a boost. Those little sonic rings is what I call them. You'll find them around quite a bit after the collector's area and around the Axum buildings. They're actually called gateway spires, I guess, technically. But if you craft multiple air tanks like this right here and bladders, it's going to give you much longer in the water, or deeper if you're going to be going deeper. And we have crafted an extra air tank and a bladder just to kind of show you this. If you're 115 meters down, one air bladder will 100% get you to the surface. So add 115 for each air bladder that you use. Like so. And of course, if you're about ready to die because of oxygen when you're free diving, you can also hit F. And it'll give you an extra 25 seconds per air bladder as well. You could also switch out air tanks. So we got some high capacity air tanks here. This air tank is just completely empty, and we could put a new one in that's going to give us a decent amount of air for a decent amount of time. So you could swap out air tanks and of course use bladders to increase the amount of time that you are underwater. Hopefully you knew this already. If you didn't, now you do. That's going to let you get to lots of deep depths whenever you're free diving past your vehicle's current depth limit, like going to the very bottom where you first crash, or when they add deeper parts to the game, you're going to be able to go much deeper. Next thing I'm going to show you is how to keep your vehicles separated when you have multiple people playing your game. So if you have up to 4 people playing your game, probably going to have like 4 tadpoles. And there's an easy way to keep your vehicles sorted without having to name them. You can't name and customize the vehicles currently. When you can, this will be obsolete. But what you can do is go into the signals for your tadpole, and you can change the colors of your signals right here. And that's going to let you be able to kind of keep different colors for each of the signals. For example, if we wanted that one to be purple, we can make ours purple, and then that one can be blue. Or if you have multiple friends, you can change them to one of each color. And of course, one person can have the default color. We can make our fast tadpole red, and then this one will be purple. So if you keep things in the back of your tadpole differently than your friends do, then you can kind of mark your tadpole and which one is yours, and that's a little easier way for you to get to it. You can also take your friends' tadpoles off of the signals. All you got to do is check the little box right next to it, and that will get rid of the other tadpoles on your screen, and you could just keep the one your color. That's how you could keep your vehicles kind of organized, and that way people aren't getting into your vehicle and vice versa and stuff like that. Just thought that was a nice little trick that we found when we were playing with 4 people. The last thing is you could put grow beds on top of your large structures like this right here. You can even put them on top of the tubes as well, like we have right here. And you could build grow beds on top of structures and on top of tubes instead of having to put them down on the ground. Now you can put them down on the ground away from your base if you wanted to, but sometimes it's kind of hard to find a snap. There we go. We found one finally. So you can place grow beds on top. Once you find the grow beds at the alien ruins, you can place them on top and spread them out like this. And they actually can hang over just a little bit too if you want to make a larger grow bed. Like so. And that's going to be it for this video. Don't forget, if you like what you see, to like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Subscribing will get you more Subnautica 2 videos, like how to build this aquarium and all that good stuff. We'll have that out in the next day or two. And hopefully, we'll see you next time. Peace.